all and welcome. Today we are deep diving into a hidden gem within the Indian pharmaceutical landscape, Gujarat Themis Biosyn Ltd, or GTBL. For any ambitious investor, finding a company that dominates a niche with high entry barriers is the holy grail. GTBL is exactly that. It's not just another pharma company, it's a specialist in fermentation-based active pharmaceutical ingredients. In a market often dominated by chemical synthesis, GTBL has carved out a massive competitive advantage by mastering the complex biological process of fermentation. Over the next 13 minutes, we will explore why this small-cap player is catching the eye of institutional investors and how its strategic shift from a contract manufacturer to a specialized API producer has transformed its balance sheet. We'll look at their stellar margins, their debt-free status, and the massive expansion plans currently underway. Let's decode the business of fermentation. Understanding GTBL requires looking at its unique lineage. Established in 1981, the company is a joint venture between the Gujarat Industrial Investment Corporation and Themis Medicare. However, the turning point was the technical collaboration with Yuhan Corporation from South Korea. Yuhan, a global pharmaceutical leader, provided the technical expertise in fermentation that remains GTBL's core strength today. For years, GTBL operated as a contract manufacturer for big names like Pfizer, producing ribupicin. However, the real value creation for shareholders began when they pivoted their business model. Instead of just earning a fixed fee for manufacturing, they started developing their own products and optimizing their manufacturing yields. This transition from a job work model to a product-led model is the primary reason behind the explosive growth in their profitability over the last 5 years. What makes GTBL special? It's their mastery over fermentation. Most API manufacturing is chemical-based, but fermentation is a biological process involving microorganisms. It is much harder to stabilize and scale. GTBL's flagship products include rifampicin and its intermediates, used primarily in treating tuberculosis, a disease that unfortunately remains a massive health burden in developing nations. They are also expanding into lovastatin and other fermentation-derived molecules. Because fermentation requires specialized facilities and long gestation periods for R&D, competition is limited. You can't just set up a fermentation plant overnight. This creates a moat around their business. By focusing on products where the manufacturing process is the barrier, GTBL ensures price stability and high demand, as there are very few domestic competitors who can match their yield and quality. Let's talk numbers, because this is where GTBL truly shines. Investors love efficiency, and GTBL's metrics are world-class. We are looking at a company that has maintained EBITDA margins upwards of 40 to 50% in recent years, which is significantly higher than the industry average for generic API players. Their return on equity, ROE, and return on capital employed, ROCE, have consistently hovered around the 40–50% mark, showcasing incredible capital efficiency. What's even more impressive is that the company is virtually debt-free. They have funded their growth through internal accruals. Over the last 5 years, their net profit has seen a CAGR of over 30%. When you have a company earning high margins with no debt and high asset turnover, it creates a compounding machine that is hard to ignore in any investment portfolio. In the world of investing, we look for a moat, a sustainable competitive advantage. GTBL's moat is twofold: technical expertise and regulatory compliance. Fermentation is as much an art as it is a science. Optimizing the broth and the environment for microbes to produce high-yield APIs takes decades of experience. GTBL has optimized this to a point where their cost of production is among the lowest globally, even without the massive scale of Chinese competitors. Furthermore, the shift in global supply chains, the China Plus One strategy, is a huge tailwind. Global pharma giants are looking to diversify their sourcing away from China. Since fermentation is a major strength of Chinese pharma, GTBL stands out as one of the few reliable, high-quality alternatives in India capable of manufacturing these specific molecules at scale. A company is only as good as its future plans. GTBL is not sitting idle. They are currently in the midst of a significant capital expenditure, CapEx phase. They are setting up a new R&D center and expanding their capacity in Vapi to manufacture new products like oxytetracycline and other fermentation derivatives. Perhaps most exciting is their move towards forward integration. They are exploring the possibility of moving from just selling the API to manufacturing the finished dosage forms, FDF. This would move them further up the value chain, leading to even higher realizations. With their new R&D facility, they are focusing on import substitution, making products in India that are currently 100% imported. This aligns perfectly with the Atma Nirbhar Bharat initiative, potentially opening doors for government incentives and faster approvals. No investment is without risk. For GTBL, the primary concern is product concentration. A significant portion of their revenue still comes from a narrow range of products related to rifampicin. Any change in the treatment protocol for tuberculosis or a sudden drop in demand could impact them. Secondly, fermentation is energy-intensive and produces biological waste. Any tightening of environmental regulations in Gujarat could lead to increased compliance costs. Lastly, raw material prices, specifically the substrates used for fermentation, like sugar or soya, can be volatile. While GTBL has shown the ability to pass on costs, sudden spikes can temporarily squeeze margins. As investors, we must monitor their progress in diversifying their product basket to mitigate these concentration risks. In conclusion, Gujarat Themis Biosyn is a textbook example of a niche leader. It combines the stability of a 40-year-old legacy with the growth hunger of a startup. With the clean balance sheet, industry-leading margins, and a clear roadmap for expansion into new molecules and finished dosages, it offers a compelling story for long-term investors. However, the market has already noticed its potential, so valuation is always a key consideration. Is it a buy at current levels? That depends on your time horizon and risk appetite. But one thing is clear. As India strengthens its position as the pharmacy of the world, specialized players like GTBL, who control the complex upstream fermentation processes, will be the biggest beneficiaries. Keep this company on your radar as they transition into their next phase of growth. Thank you for watching, and as always, consult your financial advisor before investing. In conclusion, Gujarat Themis Biosyn is a textbook example of a niche leader. It combines the stability of a 40-year-old legacy with the growth hunger of a startup. With the clean balance sheet, industry-leading margins, and a clear roadmap for expansion into new molecules and finished dosages, it offers a compelling story for long-term investors. However, the market has already noticed its potential, so valuation is always a key consideration. Is it a buy at current levels? That depends on your time horizon and risk appetite. But one thing is clear. As India strengthens its position as the pharmacy of the world, specialized players like GTBL, who control the complex upstream fermentation processes, will be the biggest beneficiaries. Keep this company on your radar as they transition into their next phase of growth. Thank you for watching, and as always, consult your financial advisor before investing.